Subscribe to Baby Gang on Patreon for updates and bonus content.
Check. All right, f it. Hi, Baby Gang. Didn't see you there. Just kidding, I did. Welcome to my other channel where I just kind of talk about stuff. Today, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while, and I've been thinking about how to talk about it, and I guess this is the best way. I feel like K-pop fans need to learn a lot more about rap, just in general. I know there's a lot of K-pop fans who love rap. I guess I've become one of those recently. But what I've noticed is a lot of people are talking about rap and rapping skills and who's a better rapper than who. There's just a tendency for people to say stuff that doesn't really make sense to me. Now, everybody's got different perspectives on what's good rapping, what's good music. For me, I don't like to impose any views on hip-hop, and I certainly don't like to be the type of person that yells at people about hip-hop knowledge, like, you don't understand the four elements, bro. Especially because I'm not black, and hip-hop is a black art form. It's kind of corny for me to be that type of person most of the time. It feels kind of, sorry, I was just checking. It feels like people need to be doing a bit more research, thinking a bit more before they say the things that they say. And here I come, the knight in shining armor, to tell people to think about stuff, I guess. Today, alongside my friend Shania, I assembled some stuff to look at and talk about. What stuff do I mean? I mean like comments and tweets on the internet from K-pop fans about rapping. And I'm just gonna sort of break down my potential issues with the comments, my potential points of agreement with the comments. I'm not looking to make anybody feel too bad about themselves. As a person who has been a fan of hip-hop since, I don't even know, like 8 years old, and kind of would like to think I know a bit more about it than the regular person. I know a lot about rapping as a technical art form because I learned a lot about it and I do it. I'm a fan of a lot of different hip-hop artists. I feel like I might be the person that might be able to break down some of the issues. Now, K-pop is a space that I have been... Shut the f*** up! K-pop is a space that I have been privy to only for the past few months. I became a fan of BTS like a year ago, and now I do listen to K-pop quite casually for enjoyment purposes. There's a lot of great K-pop out there. For me, I'm still a BTS person all the way though. But at the end of the day, it's fine for people to have different tastes in music, even if it is stuff that they ostensibly don't know a lot about. I'm not here to gatekeep necessarily, but I am here to, I don't know, let's just pull back. Let's just calm down before we yell at people on the internet about rapping. I'm going to make an effort to not have the names of either the idols, particularly in negative comments, and the commenters themselves. I don't want this video to seem like I'm calling out any particular idols or making any particular fandoms mad. I just want to talk about the substance of what's being discussed itself. Try to do this as safely as possible, which, you know, I don't know if there's any way that I can potentially save myself from being yelled at by somebody, but it's good to try. Alright, this first comment comes from Twitter. This is a bit of an exchange that went a little bit viral on different parts of K-pop Twitter, and you might see why. Basically, somebody was saying something about another idol rapper and saying, rappers write their own rap, and then somebody who is presumably a fan of that rapper responded by saying, and actors write their scripts. Ooh. All right, we're starting off heavy. So this is kind of a funny conversation because people have different views on whether or not rappers should write their own raps. But generally among hip-hop heads, among people who are fans of hip-hop, and among people within hip-hop in terms of like rappers and producers, the general idea is that if you're a rapper, you should write your own rhymes. In fact, this has been a thing since the very inception of rap. There was a group called Sugar Hill Gang, and one of the members of Sugar Hill Gang, this group that was kind of newly assembled with just dudes off the street, didn't have any rhymes, so he started rapping some of the rhymes that another friend of his, or at least somebody who knew, had come up with. This person was not their friend anymore after that. Actually, this person's rhymes have become kind of infamous for being notoriously bitten off of somebody else, and they were the subject to ridicule for a long time because of it. So people take this stuff very seriously. I remember when the intro to Nas's record, which I can't say the title of, was ostensibly, presumably, possibly, rumoredly written by Jay Electronica. People were like, this is the biggest scandal in hip-hop. Nas not writing his own rhymes, especially because Nas was supposed to be this amazing lyricist. He's one of the greatest of all time. The idea that he possibly didn't write his own rhymes in that record was enough to cause incredible amounts of debate. Basically what I'm saying to you is, I'll give one more example. Remember the Drake Meek Mill beef? Yeah, that was a whole thing. Basically, what I'm saying to you is people take the whole rappers writing their own rhymes thing seriously as fans of hip hop. And why is that? When you rap, part of the skill, part of the art form is the writing of the rhymes itself. It's like painting a picture, but I don't know, you only chose the colors. You know what I mean? I got a good metaphor for this. It's like if somebody compared somebody who paints their own paintings, there's all the figuration and all the imagery themselves, and somebody who traces a painting. And both of the paintings are equally beautiful. In fact, this painting might be even better looking than the other painting. But because it's based off of somebody else's work, there's a connotation that it's not as valuable. This person's response that actors write their own scripts is kind of controversial. It's a hot take, partially because the idea that you would say a rapper is an actor, while there are many comparisons there in terms of performing, that comparison would probably make a lot of people mad, because rappers are supposed to present their authentic selves. They're supposed to be representing themselves and where they come from and their own ideas and thoughts in their rapping and in their performances. So performance is a huge aspect of that, but the writing of the thoughts themselves is one of the major keys in determining why a rapper is great. So if you take that away, then you only have half of the art form. Actors are doing their own art form in and of itself. None of it encompasses the act of writing. The act of writing is an entirely separate art form. Actors are supposed to take the work that's given to them and translate it and perform it in a way that really makes it something entirely new. Whereas when rappers are performing raps written by other people, even the performances themselves are oriented in the writing of the raps. You write the rap in a way to know that it's going to sound a certain way, to know that certain energies need to be in certain places. With all that said, there are a lot of rappers that are excellent performers that don't write their own raps necessarily, and that doesn't make them bad performers at all. It doesn't make them bad rappers at all. But it just means that you have to categorize them a little bit separately, because what one rapper is doing is creating the art and participating in the full 100% art form of writing the rap and performing the rap, whereas another is simply performing the rap. So you would say that that person's a great performer, much like a singer would be a great performer, but the rapping itself, they're incomplete. It's an incomplete grade, basically. You can take that however you want. You might have a different perspective on what's valuable and what's not valuable, and all of this is not to say that this takes away from the music itself at all. Somebody could be an excellent performer who makes excellent music, better than people who write their own music, possibly. So if people want to be a to you about your favorite rapper, your favorite artist not writing their own raps, it's kind of corny, and you should listen to whatever you want to listen to and hype up whoever you want to hype up, because it's really not easy to perform a rap regardless of whether you wrote it or not anyway. But you wouldn't be able to compare those two rappers in the same category. It's just not complete, That took me a long time to explain already, and I tried my best to try to not sound disrespectful. Yeah, I did that right. This person is on Twitter as well, and they replied to a ranking of an idol rapper that they like by saying the fastest rapper in K-pop isn't sixth. That's probably going to give away what the situation is there. I'm not super familiar with the rapper themselves, and again, I'm not going to say names in this video because I don't want to call anybody out. I don't want to imply that anybody is a bad rapper or that anybody's tastes are wrong. However, I will say this. There's a connotation among a lot of people, even certain hip-hop heads and even a lot of kids in America that listen to certain types of rap music, that a rapper rapping fast means the rapper is good. In fact, a lot of people's idea of what rapping is talking fast, and that's just kind of not what it is. It's a rhythmic flow of the words that you're using over a beat. Kind of like poetry. It's kind of like spoken word poetry to a rhythm of a beat. That rhythm can be slow. That rhythm can be fast. Now, rapping fast is a very difficult thing to do. It's hard to rap fast. I've tried it many times, and it takes a while to really get stuff down. You have to practice how you're going to enunciate each syllable. You have to practice your delivery and the sound of your voice, and especially for somebody like me who has ADHD and doesn't talk about it at all. I feel like it can be very difficult to consistently do, but it's one of those things that you can kind of just train to do if you take the time out to do it. As a matter of fact, there's tons of videos of people on YouTube who are not rappers, like little kids that go on YouTube and will rap a super fast rap at 2 times the speed. Like there's this one little girl that's on YouTube that like got famous for rapping Eminem Rap God because that has a notoriously fast part. And that is, emblematic that this is more about performance and it's more about training yourself to do a skill. It's like juggling or it's like doing push-ups, right? It's hard, it's not easy, but it's a skill and it can be learned. Now, let's take the push-up metaphor for a second. You might know how to do great push-ups, but you're not necessarily stronger than any other person just because you can do a lot of push-ups. You're not necessarily the strongest person in your neighborhood just because you can do a lot of push-ups or you can do more push-ups than anybody in the neighborhood. It's implied that that might be the case, but a push-up is just one thing. What about all the other exercises that exercise other parts of your body? Why can't you do bench press, deadlifts, curls, whatever? This is kind of the case with rap music. First of all, rapping fast is only something that's necessary in certain parts. And there's a lot of rappers that, and again, I'm not calling anybody out, but there's a lot of rappers, especially on YouTube, that will rap really fast over beats, but it won't sound good. If you rap really fast, then you're kind of off the beat, or the beat doesn't match, or you're not getting the words out properly because you're so focused on rapping fast but the words aren't actually coming out clearly, you can actually mess up the sound of the song and sound way worse than if you did just rapping at a regular tempo. Some people rap fast just because they can and not necessarily because they should. Sometimes a beat is too busy and you might want to have a more selective and hyped approach and just focus on specific words. These are the things that you need to factor in when you're rapping. And this is all beside the main point, which is that if you don't sound good while you're rapping, and the things that you're saying are not interesting, and then it doesn't matter how fast you rap them, you're still not necessarily a good rapper. Could this rapper be a really good rapper? Maybe, probably they're a really good rapper. But it's a disservice to them to say that because they rap fast, they are automatically better than everybody else. What about the other parts of their art form? Oh man. This is a comment from somebody that said, I hope people give more recognition to idol rapper. Bobby and Mino already broke such prejudice in the hip hop scene. There are many talented idol rapper out there. BTW, this guy is so good. This person was talking about a rapper named Sunwoo. What I'll say about this is it's absolutely true. There are a lot of really good idol rappers out there. BTS Rapline is part of my favorite group, BTS, and they're what appealed to me in the first place. I was like, wow, these dudes are really good rappers, and they write their own stuff, and they perform it extremely well. The lyrics are thoughtful. I'm a fan of this. And that was what appealed me to even listen to K-pop in the first place. There's a lot of other idol rappers that are also very good, and I agree that Bobby and Mino are two very good technical rappers. That means that idol rappers have to be, I don't know. The thing is that there's a connotation about idol rappers that is based in some truth. That idol rappers are just people who were supposed to be singers when they were training but weren't good enough singers, so the label made them rap instead. I guess this could be said about a lot of different idol rappers, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but there is a tendency for a lot of idol rappers to just kind of rap because there's supposed to be a rap on the song instead of contributing like some really good content in what they're rapping or rapping really well. Regardless, there are a lot of rappers in the idol music industry now, and even from the beginning, because you had Soteji and Boys and HOT as some of the first groups in hip-hop or in K-pop, and they were hip-hop artists. You have a lot of good K-pop rappers now, and that should be respected. This comment says something very interesting. I'm only going to take part of the comment that is appealing to me because I don't want to talk about whatever else is happening here. YGE are full of good rappers. YG has the best rappers. No one can stop me. Fire emoji. Among all agencies, YG has the swaggy and charismatic groups. So this gets at a couple of things that are kind of weird for me about what K-pop fans think about hip-hop music. First of all, this is just one particular fan's one particular view, and they have a right to their own opinion. And if they feel like all the rappers at YG are the best rappers because they're swaggy or charismatic, then that's great. Good for them. Here's the thing. First of all, I think that this idea that certain agencies have the best rappers and you can't compare any other rappers to YG rappers, I don't know if it's outdated or if it's just I'm missing the point or what, but it just feels kind of, I don't know, demeaning. First of all, Bobby and Mino are not good rappers because they're part of YG. They're good rappers because they're good rappers. And YG was just the label that saw their talent and signed them. Does this mean that they're the best label at finding rappers. I guess that is up for debate, but there's also a lot of great idol rappers that are part of other companies. For example, Ellie from Exit was an underground rapper, or at least part of a hip hop group, before she joined Exit. And she is a very competent rapper. She's very good. Rappers that write their own rhymes, rappers that have their own unique original deliveries, that is what stands out to me. And the thing is, when you reduce the quality of a rapper down to being swaggy or charismatic and saying like, wow, YG Entertainment has the best rappers because they have so much swag, that's kind of demeaning towards what all the elements of hip hop incur. Like, there's so many different ways to be a good rapper. You don't have to have one particular style or swag, or have a lot of energy, or be good looking, or whatever the case might be. Or you don't have to have a specific voice that's supposedly sounds cool and appeals to people generally. In fact, being a great rapper often entails having your own unique style that nobody else is doing. I feel like sometimes that means, people say charismatic and swaggy and they only mean one type of charisma or swag. But if you look at some of the great rappers of all time, somebody like Notorious B.I.G., Biggie, and somebody like Tupac, they both had incredible amounts of charisma during the same time period, but they were very different rappers with very different energies, very different voices. And that is the kind of thing that should be encouraged. I don't like this idea that in order for a rapper to be good, they have to approximate some idea of charisma and they have to be part of a certain label. And I know that this person is probably just, hyping their favorite artists up, and that's great. But for me, I wish that people would be a bit more nuanced about this kind of thing and move past this idea that great rappers come from a certain label and other rappers can't compare, and that is supposed to be the marking of what makes a rapper great in idol music. What makes a rapper great is that they stand out, they're original, they have something to say that is cool to them. Even if it's not necessarily they're talking about anything deep, they're saying stuff that is unique to them. They're saying stuff that they truly care about and they're passionate about. Somebody like CL, who was part of YG and is cited as one of the best rappers in idol music, she didn't... My camera turned off. Basically, I was just saying that CL is a great rapper because she talked about, stuff that was empowering to women, and she had a lot of fun. She made fun party music. Okay, the video's over, man. I'm tired, I'm sweaty, and I'm not gonna wait until my camera turns back on. So you guys let me know what your opinions are on K-pop idol rapping, and why do you feel like there might be some ignorance here, or maybe I'm getting some things wrong and I might be the ignorant one. Just let me know, and try to be nice to me. But honestly, if you're not nice to me, that's fine too. I'm a grown adult. I have feelings, but I'm a grown adult. Okay, goodbye.